not to cover everything, but maybe give you a very relevant point related to your organization and to this sector. So I will share my screen, Neelam. Just let me know once you.
Sure.
Is this visible to everyone? I mean, to you, Neelam, as well as to people. If they can just give a thumbs up or something, I will get a sense that people are getting.
It is. Yeah, yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, because I have to cover fast, so the maximum struggle around sector is related to all these three topics are very important, but the maximum struggle is related to income tax compliance because origin of the exemption, charity, and everything is actually from income tax. So I'm starting from the point zero where we have to create an organization, a charitable organization, non-profit organization. So it's like 2-3 steps basically we have to cover. And in these 2-3 steps, we have specific things to do. So step one, we have to decide which form of organization we want to create, whether we want to create a society, trust, or Section 8 company. We have different compliances, we have different benefit, we have different advantage for each of these categories, and depending on what is best suitable for your kind of organization, for your objective, you have to decide the form. Then second step is enabling the registration. Enabling registration, when I'm saying, it means every organization need to register with the income tax authorities and get that 12 AB registration. Unless that is done, they are not considered as charitable organization and they will not get the benefit. And then there are state level laws, like I understand Maharashtra, we have a specific charity commissioner and all. We have to fulfill their requirement, their compliance as well. And there are other states also where we have a state compliance is applicable. So with these two, the step two, now we are a charitable organization. To extend our objective and to reach out to the larger community beyond country. So we have FCRA. If we want to reach out to corporates and all, we have CSRA compliance. And then there are like office related compliance. Like we have, if we have employees, we have to apply PF, we have to apply ESI. And if somebody is into business activities as well, we have to register for GST as well. So I will move a bit fast. You can make the points and notes. Maybe I will try to cover later, but I will. So like I was telling, there are benefits and advantage for each of these category, like society, trust, and Section 8 company. You can see there is a requirement like where we should register, how many people we need for that, which is the relevant act and a section for that particular type of entity. What is the structure of management in the sense governing body or directors and all, and then what are their rights, who are the ultimate power in that organization. So that all you can, I mean, you can go through this PPT later, but the point is there are different uh, requirements and there is a flexibility attached to each of these category, but there is also a different level of compliance attached to each of these category, right? The one very important and the strange point is charitable organization is not defined in any act in India. Charitable purpose is defined. So in a way, we have to think other way around. Organization who is doing charitable activities, charitable purpose, they can be considered or they are considered as charitable organization. But if we want to refer that where is charitable organization definition is there in the in the law, it's not there. So the charitable purpose is defined specifically in the income tax, but then FCRA laws and GST law also talks about what are the charitable purposes then. For example, income tax talks about relief of poor, education, yoga, and there are a couple of other activities which they say if organization is working for these purpose, that is charitable purpose. FCRA also, there are these 3-4 categories which is defined in the FCRA. Beyond that, nothing is accepted in the FCRA. GST also talks about what is charitable and not charitable, right? A very the basic requirement is like I talked on the slide number 1, where I said, unless we are registered under the income tax, we are not a charitable organization. When you are registered under 12AB or 10 oblique 23C, then you become a charitable organization. And you know, a 12A registration, initially the old system was, it was perpetual. Once you got the registration, it is for a long term. But now with the recent changes in last 2-3 years, if we go through, I mean, if we use those or we have to apply those laws, so it's only for 5 years now. Both 12 AB and ATG registrations are now only for a 5-year period. And there are different, because law has changed. This sheet will help you when you go through this. This will make you understand that what if you are a existing organization, what if you got a 3-year provisional, what if you got a 5-year provisional, 5-year registration, and what if you are applying as a new. So in totality, it's for 5 years, and every 5 year you have to apply for a renewal of your 12AB, which is like every 5 years you are going back, giving your information and asking income tax department to give you a certificate that you are a charitable organization, right? They will go through a lot of process. There are rules, there are timelines and all. We all need to follow those timelines. I can't because the time is a constraint, so I can't talk about all this. But I think maybe Neelam can share with you these PPTs later. You can refer, and any query you can still raise it even after the call is over, right? Now the thing is, why we need to register under 12AB? Why? What if I am not, or any organization not getting registered? One is we are not a charitable, but how that really impacts us as an organization. So the point is, we say the money received by the organization and the contribution received by the organization, or even to some extent business activities done by I'm again saying to some extent, there is a catch, but so broadly these are the exemptions are allowed for all these nature of expense, and those contribution and incomes received are not taxable like other organizations are treated for the computation purpose. Now, let's say, and we can accumulate certain money. So all these, if we are registered under 12AB, then only we get a benefit of all these section 11, 12, and 13. And section 11, 12, and 13 talks about how an NGO, how much to what extent they should get exemption, why they should not be treated as taxable income, and how much money they can accumulate it. That all is there in these two sections. So to get the benefit of section 11 and 12, we have to be registered under section 12AB, and we have to get a charitable the purpose or the organization objective has to be defined as charitable. Now, we said we'll get the benefit, but what are the conditions? What are the conditions so that section 11 and 12 is applicable to your organization? So the basic requirement is registration. You have to register your organization. So it's like a 5-year again. It's not a perpetual anymore. And if you are making any changes in your objective of your organization, the scope of work you want to do, objective you are changing, that all also need to be informed to the tax authorities, and the process change, and you get a new registration accordingly. And you have to maintain all your books of accounts. That is condition number 2. And you have to get your books audited, and then you have to file all your income tax returns and all. Now, this is something you have to do. The point is, why should we do? What if we don't do? If we don't follow all these norms and all, the point is you become a normal organization. You are no more a charitable organization, and the money you are getting into your organization will be treated as a normal income, and that becomes a taxable. Tax will apply according to any other organization, not like what you are getting benefit in charitable organization. So violation of these condition means the tax benefit what you are getting is not there now. You will be treated and your tax computation will happen under section 13 accordingly. Again, there are applicability side of the application side of money, income side of money, accumulation side of it, and then there are other issues. So broadly, let's say which is very common is 80 to the 85 to the extent of 85% money we receive during the year, we have to utilize. And if you are not utilizing that within the financial year, there are declaration which we have to give. Maybe we can use in the coming year, but there are specific reporting requirements, certification requirement for that, which we have to do, right? 85% money you have to use based on all these accounting and everything is based on cash system of accounting. Now the point, because I'm covering everything related, I maybe will not get time to discuss separately because the point coming in between. Now the cash and accrual is a very common debate for non-profit sector, whether we should follow cash or accrual. So the maximum requirement, if you talk about FCRA, if you talk about tax laws and all, it's always the cash-based accounting system it talks. But then there is an anomaly as well, because when you have a PAN number, you are supposed to deduct TDS, you are supposed to pay, which is based on accrual system, right? We can't follow for TDS and all, we can't do a cash-based accounting system. So now organization, charitable organization are in a really difficult situation because there is no clear-cut one accounting system you can follow. I mean, you can't decide whether accrual or cash. You have to maintain both. Because for TDS and all liability, you have to maintain accrual base, and for all other purpose, even for utilization, even for FCRA and all, they will all ask you cash-based accounting and utilization. So it's not so difficult. There are accounting system which, I mean, if you record transaction, you get both the reports, which is based on accrual and which is based on cash. You can do that. But the thing is, we don't recommend that you maintain only accrual or you maintain only cash-based system. So we have to go with both the system, and this is not a challenge. I'm saying most of these accounting software and all you can do. You need not to do double accounting. It's a single accounting. The reports and the output is designed in a way that you can run a cash-based report. You can also run a accrual-based report. Yeah, one very common question again, which is related to tax and all, the business activities. Are these NGOs in this sector, we are allowed to do business or not, to what extent we can do, and what business we can do, business activities we can do. So there are established practices and norms, like if the business activity is incidental to your cause or the main activity or main objective of your organization, then that is allowed. But then it should not go beyond 20%. You can't say my 100% income is incidental income and from business. So they're based on past judgment, based on practices and all, we say 20% is a incidental income. If it is crossing beyond 20%, the question is what is going to happen? There are consequences, there are normals as well. So we need to understand that in detail, how, what, why, that all will be a detailed topic then. But the broad level, high level is it's a 20%, and this is allowed. And be very clear, not a normal business activity. You cannot do normal business activity with your organization. You can what is allowed is only business activity which is incidental to your objective and purpose, right? For example, you are doing a skill development program, your organization, and then there are like or some empowerment for a specific need and all, and they are producing some products or something which is part of your skill development or part of your empowerment program, then that becomes incidental to your objective, right? So we have to be very mindful about what we consider, because it's not what I consider or what you consider. We have to keep in mind what law, what rules are, what notifications are talking about these specific requirements and all. Now, maybe you can again read through. I'm going to last line. Organization has income from profit and gains from a business which is not incidental, right? This becomes a problem if there is a income which is not incidental to organization's objective. And then there are, if you are doing those kind of activity, you also need to maintain separate books of accounts for them. You can't mix your business income, your org income, and then combinedly produce it. You have to keep separate books of account for your business activities, the amount you are getting from business activities and their expenditure and everything you have to keep separate, and the normal purpose, normal in the sense, or the main objective purpose, whatever money and expenditure you are doing, that also we need to keep in mind. Now the point is, where is the requirement for books of account coming, and what all we should maintain? So you need to maintain. I'm assuming you are responsible either directly for maintaining the books, or you are at a management level where you can give directives or the guidance to your team that why and what all you need to maintain. So books of account, all leases, all journals, all cash books, whatever you maintain, that we have to maintain. Other documents, when I say specifically your invoices, your agreements and everything, that also you. And there are, under different rules, there are requirement for different type of books, or the timelines, or the place where we have to keep, or for the timeline, for the time we have to keep these books. So place, when we say it is your registered office, normally you can keep electronically, maybe in a server or somewhere, but it should be accessible and a normal practice of keeping your records there. And 10 years is a time, because the reassessment and all is still part of tax process, where they can open a old assessment. So it's like, for now, as of now, even 10 years we have to maintain and keep the records for our accounts and books. Now the other layer comes, so we have to maintain the books of account and all the audit. So why audit? Audit is mandated. Like the second slide, what we talk about, what are these four condition, 3-4 condition: registration, books of account we have to maintain, audits we have to maintain, and return we have to file. So audit. Why we do audit? Because there is a requirement. Maybe your society act defines, your company act defines about this, and the trust deed will also defined, and the tax law also defines the need for audits and all. Then there are the special purpose, like income tax law specifically talks about the audits and audit reports. FCRA law talks about the audit and the auditor's report. Then your donor may ask you for a specific project audit, or maybe a org audit, or maybe org statutory document and financial document. So we have to go through, and then internal controls and all, that also becomes a audit requirement. So audit requirement is two-way. One is general purpose and a specific purpose, and then maybe your internal controls and all. Now, I have switched from the text to books of account to now transaction level. Now, when we do transaction and accounting in a accounting system or in an organization, we should not only consider that as a transaction to just do a debit credit entry, because debit credit is just one aspect of any transaction. What we also need to think, or the people who are dealing with the transaction recording and all, that this single transaction is connected to multiple things in your organization, for a compliance point of view, for your donor point of view, from your the project point of. For example, one expense, one transaction happening, you made some amount, you make payment for some amount and all. So uh, that transaction is something you need to think from a point, whether this is FCRA. If it is FCRA, is this going to hit my admin expense, non-admin expense, admin expense, or is this related to a restricted money given by donor, or unrestricted money given by donor? And accordingly, your decision will change. So, for example, one expense paid, again going back to same example, expense you made. Now, this is for FCRA. And if you account for this under FCRA, this is going to hit your administrative limit. So now you may change your decision. You may say, no, I will make this payment from maybe domestic or maybe some other donor or something. That all you will do at the time of your transaction recording. So that it's not only a verification of invoice side of it. It's also thinking about the larger impact in your organization and compliance of your organization and the donors management side of it, right? So transactions should not be seen stand alone just for accounting purpose. So there are beyond just accounting. So every transaction your finance team should look from all these angles. I'm very fast, I know, but at the same time, because time is limited, now we are talking about FCRA. FCRA is I mean, my experience, we got FCRA renewal this year only. So we applied, I think, for renewal, we applied in January 22, and we got approval in January 24. So for 2 years period, it was under process. And everybody in the sector who are FCRA registered, they have their own concern about FCRAs. But my understanding, if our books are properly maintained, if our programs are doing solid on ground, and our information system and all is proper, FCRA is not that scary. What like the stories we are hearing and then cancellation, and I don't want to comment why cancellation happened and all. That's a different story. But I'm sharing my very personal experience. 2 times these IB officials they visited, they asked a lot of information. We gave every bit of information they asked, and they were also very cooperative in a sense, because they are also on their duty. They have to investigate everything and all. We gave it. It took time. It took time. 2 years time it took, but we got a renewal without any major problem. It was clarifying a lot of things. They will ask you a lot of questions, a lot of queries, but you have to respond professionally, not with a mindset that why they are asking this question. The general thing is, in this sector, we feel is we are doing a lot of good work. We are doing it for society. Why they are asking us question? So we also have to understand they are on their duty. They are following the rule. Now we are here to respond them and clarify what they are asking. With this, I think FCRA, if you maintain your books properly, separate books you maintain, all the returns and everything happening, your SBI account, your utilization account, everything is properly maintained. Whenever you have this renewal due, you should do it on time, which is before 6 months of your FCRA license expiry. You should apply for that, and always apply through a person who is already into this space, who has managed FCRA and all. Testing and experimenting something I will not suggest, right? Because this is like FCRA is very rigid in certain thing. Like there are very few option to edit or revise kind of thing. Income tax, we still have, like if something is submitted wrong, we can still submit a revised thing and all. And we have different layers of addressing the problem. And but FCRA, in that sense, we have very limited scope. So best approach is first time right. You take time, you get involved with the people who are expert in this subject, and then get it right. So FCRA is again like for NGO sector, why we say, why is the FCRA even required? The point is we need money from external, I mean the outside country, the people who are citizen of other countries or organization who are in other countries. So if we need support from those entities, those people, government has mandated that you can't take money from outsider people, outsider when I'm saying who are not citizen of country, or companies who are from other side of country. You have to follow the FCRA process. And FCRA process says you have to register, you have to apply on a certain manner, and then what should be there, what should not be there, what who can get the approval, who cannot get the approval, that all is there. So purpose from, we should also think from the government point of view why they want to do, because in the security, in the national interest and all, they have this policy. We have nothing against them. So broadly, these 3-4 things. But I'm saying very broadly because I know the challenges at each level. Even registration is a very cumbersome process. Getting the registration and renewal is a very lengthy process. But in the interest of time, I'm saying it's a registration, then you have to report fund utilization. There are annual reportings. There is a bank requirement, specific SBI bank and the utilization bank and all. Now, again, one side, this sector is worried about the number of compliances. The flip side of it is even the government has removed some of the compliances. What I see is some of the organizations are still following that. For example, quarterly reporting for the fund receipts and all. I think it's almost 2 years since government removed that requirement. It was removed from the compliance requirement. So effectively, there is no requirement for quarterly reporting of your funds receiving under FCRA. But I see website, people are still reporting that, and that is still a burden for people who are following it. So we really need to understand, go through the actual compliance requirements. Sometimes just because we are not able to understand, maybe we are into too much extra things we are doing. So it's again like reaching out to the subject expert and the people who are good into this matter, and then follow that practice. So maximum the disturbance or the people really worried about FCRAs after these 2020 amendments happened. So one is related to admin thing, which was 50%. Now it is only 20%. But again, I think it's not that painful. It's just because understanding of people is not so clear about the 20% administration. There are only few things which they say is the law says is admin expenses. A lot of things which may not be even admin expenses, which looks like admin. For example, there is an office where you are running your a project or a school or something. I mean, prima facie, you will say this is rent and this is electricity bill, this is admin expense. But that is not the case, because that is for your program and that is where you are running your program. This all is project cost. What I'm trying to give a sense is, don't just go by the very high level thing. We still need to go in detail what law says, and again your expert, your CA, or maybe the person who is managing your finance and all, they need to consult with a larger community where experts are there, not to just rely on my own wisdom and just a couple of 1 or 2 people, right? So amendments made in 2020 made couple of important changes, like admin expenses, the Aadhaar and all mandated for all the board members. Then SBI opening your FCRA main account in SBI New Delhi branch, and then transfer of FCRA fund to other organization, right? Irrespective, even if they are FCRA registered. So essentially, if you are getting FCRA money, you have to use it for the program you are executing, not to pass on that money to anyone else who may be FCRA registered, who may not be, doesn't matter. But आपको वो पैसा नहीं देना है किसी और organization को. You have to use it for your own programs and all. There are forms. There are number of forms. For each forms, there are complications. There are further questions and all. So FCRA forms, basically, my purpose of putting FCRA form here is, this is a broad guidelines. I mean the FC2, 3, 3B, 3C and all these. So if your address is changing, there is a compliance and there is a form. If your key persons are changing, there is a form, that's a compliance, and you have to submit that. There is a timeline, right? And there are rules and there are clarifications related to FCRA. For FCRA and all, their Q&A and their website, I mean, the 80%, 70% of the your question and all, you will get answer if you visit FCRA website, go through their Q&A. There is still a lot of ambiguity. I'm not saying 100% you will get clarification, but for those 20%, don't rely on anybody randomly. Because those 20%, that 20, I mean, one ma'am was raising concern about initially when we started this session about the FCRA. That's true. People know very little, and then based on that little knowledge they try to make their own assumption, and they try to give their own advice, which is not suggested. The people should also try to understand and not to give uh, advice to people unless they are very sure and they are expert of that particular topic. And if as an organization manager or the board member or the person who are concerned with the FCRA laws and all, I will suggest reach out to the trusted people who are into this practice for at least for 5-6 years at least. Not just that random person giving you some advice, you just follow that. Don't do that. And we should also not do professionals also. I am saying not to give a random advice to anyone. And because these all are very critical for organization. Once something wrong happened, it is very difficult. Like I was saying, income tax side of compliances and all, we have a scope to revise and all. FCRA, we have very limited scope. Once something happens wrong, it's very limited scope for us to get that corrected. So FCRA, be very careful about your compliances and all. So there are multiple, like one was about bookkeeping. You have to maintain separate books of account. It's like altogether a different organization or a company within your organization. For example, you have one organization, your books of account are maintained. You have to create altogether a different organization for accounting purpose, and every transaction related income side of it, application side of it, you have to record separately. And at any point of time, you should be able to generate your separate books, separate ledger, separate journal, separate financial statement for your FCRA transaction and FCRA records. It should not be a merger kind of thing of both the things. You have to merge it at one point when you are doing your consolidation under income tax and all. But for FCRA purpose, you have to maintain it separate books of accounts and all. Now, I have time over, but I will still spend a minute or two. The regulatory framework in this sector is changing very rapidly. Tax norm, you see, FCRA norms, you see, even government is in the process of changing the income tax law in totality. Next year, we are expecting direct tax code, which will be all new for even professional like me or for anyone who is into this sector. So for NGOs, it is going to be a challenge. Let's see, that also we have to face, but I'm saying there is lot more changing. What we feel already have changed a lot. We have to wait for more, and we have to be ready for that. So I'm saying don't risk by your own experiments and all. Reach out to the people. There are people who are ready to help you pro bono and all. Reach out to the people who can help you in all your queries and all. But if you are not sure, don't experiment, right? For two reasons. One, these are very serious compliances, and even at the very normal level of compliance, we should not experiment with the compliance. Other thing, what I'm sensing is, even for all reporting requirement and all, invest in technology adoption, because maybe we are very focused in our program impact and all. Maybe we are ignoring technology, but I think with the technology only, there is a survival and there is a future. In your organization, in your program, for everything, for finance, reporting and everything, I think we need to invest in technology. The other thing I want to highlight here is CSR pool is increasing every year because more corporates are coming into that ambit, and their profitability is increasing. So they have to use more CSR money, and they have to give it to maybe their own they are using. But there are a lot of organizations who are looking for a credible partner. So for them, who are the credible partner? One with the solid programs for sure. But the other side of it, any organization is having tech-enabled monitoring and evaluation. So the CSR funder, they trust a lot if you can showcase that you have a solid monitoring and evaluation system for your programs, for your impact and all, which is more of tech-enabled. They trust a lot, and then you may get long-term commitments for your funding and all. Thank you, because time is very critical for me. I tried to cover this. I know I could not justify with all these topic in 45 minutes, but I just gave you a very high level of understanding about this. So a lot of questions I'm expecting. I'm here to help you, answer you whatever we can answer in this session. And if something is like need analysis of the more facts and figures, maybe we can answer that even post this session. Thank you very much for listening me patiently and for being in this session. Thank you very much. Over to you, Neela.
Thank you so much. That was really, I mean, in a short time, I can see you have like delivered a lot of information and insights to all of us. And thank you so much for that. Many things even I was not aware of, I got to know that today. I mean, as a part of the social sector, though I'm not like working in the finance sector, but still it's very insightful. Thank you so much once again from Connect for Team, Ms. Santosh Bist. And yes, so yeah, we have a question. So Pawan would like to ask. Okay, so before I read Pawan, would you like to unmute if you're still there, and you can ask the question by yourself. It would be really nice then. Is Pawan not there? Okay, so Pawan had asked. I'll just read out the question.
Yeah.
So his question is: do individual donors from outside India fall under FCRA compliances?
So when we say individual, we have to check only one thing, just one thing, their citizenship. If they are holding Indian passport, they are domestic. If they are holding any other country passport, they are FCRA donors. I mean, individual donation is so simple. Just divide into two filters: Indian citizen with a passport and not Indian citizen.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Another question we have from Rising Sparks Foundation. So they're asking is like 3 years is mandatory to get a CSR fund for NGO?
Yes, 3 years. I think there is some changes happened. I'm recent change if something has happened, but the base requirement is 3 year. Recently, I was hearing some changes on that front that I can clarify. Maybe I have to revisit recent changes.
Sure.
But
So
the
we will
primary
come back with yeah.
maybe in a day or two. But otherwise, the 3 year requirement was there. I'm sure. I mean, I'm still 90% sure that is there, but just 10% I have doubt. I need to revisit.
Not a problem. We can always communicate this later to our partner NGO.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the last question, Santosh. Dr. Ratna from CIM Trust. So she's asking that any trustworthy agency person with 5 to 10 of years of experience getting FCRA for NGOs. If you know anyone, or if you are doing this any for the NGOs, you can let us know, Santosh. I mean, that's the question she's asking.
Is she on call? We can talk. I just want to understand what is their pain point.
Okay, so what I'll do, I will connect both of you after the webinar, and then you both can take it ahead if you are okay
So
with that.
I because this question is, I mean, I'm sensing there is a problem, but I'm not able to understand what is the actual problem, right? So if they can tell me what exactly they are facing, maybe I can help them.
Surely. So I'll connect you, both of you, like after the webinar, and then
Sure.
you can take it ahead. Okay, yeah. So she's saying yes, 3 years is a must to get a CSR. She answered the question. the earlier
Yeah, that's what
question.
I'm saying. 3 years was, I mean, my last update is 3 years only. I was
Correct.
hearing some noise about this 3 years and all.
Correct.
So I thought I will check and all.
Correct. Correct. So yeah, I guess anyone has any other questions?
Hello, sir.
If
Yeah,
you can
we have,
ask.
yeah, yes,
This is
somebody
Deepa,
raised.
the foundation. Yeah, actually, I just want to confirm if we also have to upload these details if we applied previously for FCRA registration and it's got rejected. So we need to apply for the previous application details or registration or granted. These details we have to apply, upload them on website or not.
So you are saying your FCRA renewal got rejected, right?
Previous, if we applied for FCRA registration and if
Hmm.
we got rejected, but there is no issue. I don't know what is the detail. So that's why we need to upload these details like application details for registration if we rejected. So those documents and
Uh, let me break your problem. So my first question, are you a FCRA? Is your FCRA registration valid? You have a FCRA registration or you are applying for a new registration?
21.
Sorry,
2021. In 2021, we applied for FCRA.
you applied for FCRA in 2021, right? And that got rejected, right? Maybe there is a disconnection or something. So, okay. So if you are not registered, if you applied, your application got rejected at the first as a first time application, you are not registered under FCRA, so there is no point of talking FCRA compliances, right? Now coming to the, I'm just assuming another situation where you are already a FCRA registered and it was time for renewal. You applied for it and then there was a rejection. This becomes a case two. Case one is very clear. You first time you are trying to apply, your application got rejected means you got no money from FCRA. You have nothing to do with FCRA. Maybe you can try for you can try again or something. But the second case where you are already under FCRA and in the last 5 years, because you are applying for renewals and all, last 5 years, you got money, you utilize it, you create assets and all. If there is a rejection in your application, then FCRA sees, and then there is an exit process. Exit process in the sense, your assets and bank account, everything is there. There is a process to surrender that and to transfer that to other organizations. There are specific rules for that case. So case one, which case is your case one, case two? I'm not clear.
Great. Yes, I guess the further questions I will share. I will share with the Santosh sir, and then we will get back to you on the same. And if you like to connect with the Santosh sir, I will share his LinkedIn profile ID. So you are welcome to connect him over the
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile and get connected, and we can always get in touch with the for the same. Yeah, so once again, thank you very much everyone for participating, for joining today's webinar, and special thanks to Mr. Santosh Bist from Make a Difference uh, for his sharing his experience, sharing the insights. I guess we got like few of the feedbacks from the participants. It's like a lot of, lot of their confusion, a lot of their queries got cleared up even during such a short duration of today's. But still, yes, due to time constraints, we cannot cover everything on in a 1 hour 60 minutes webinar. But
Yes. Yes.
as a connect for, yes, but as a connect for, we always try to keep this, and yes, we can keep this session once again if the demand comes, definitely. And I hope Santosh sir would like to you know um, come again, visit us again for the same, right?
Oh, sure.
About connect, Yes. So about Connect For, to who are new joining the session for the first time. So about Connect For. So Connect For is an organization, uh, uh, where it's a digital volunteering platform. So where we connect other NGOs to the volunteers. So currently, like we are having like around 500 NGOs connected with us across India, and around 75,000 volunteers have worked with us so far. So which includes the skill-based volunteers from individuals to professionals, the working professionals, the retired people or the housewives. They come and volunteer with us. We have been uh, no, the tie-up with the colleges, with the universities, with the community groups like Lions or Rotary Club, NSS groups of the colleges, and plus the corporates also. So our main vision is to connect that bridge between the passion for volunteering, where a person can contribute their skill and time for a non-profit organization. Right. Yes. So that this is it. And yes, this is a totally like free of cost service what we provide. We've been providing for since 2015. So we don't charge anything to the NGOs, to the non-profit at all. So yes, you all are welcome to be a part of it. Or if you know any other non-profit in your circle, you can always get in touch with us. Yes. So
Wonderful.
yes, that's it for the today, and we keep this webinar every month on some of the Wednesdays. So as today we will reach out to you about the webinar, what is the upcoming webinar, what we are having in next month in the November, and I'm happy to see all of you there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neelam, and all the participants for listening and for your time. I'm sure, I mean, like I could not justify this in 40-45 minutes because topic each of these line needs maybe hours of discussion. But yeah, like Neelam can share my LinkedIn profile. You can place your questions there. Maybe if it is something critical, I will reach out to you. If I can, if something I can just answer and resolve then and there, I think that's also possible. Depending on what is your problem, what is your requirement, we will take it further.
Definitely. Thank you for that also, Santosh, to reaching out even beyond your capacity and for that giving the time for that. And yes, thank you once again, everyone. Have a nice time. Have a nice weekend. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
bye. I'm just ending the webinar. Yeah. You can reach out to us on connect4 at ops@connect4.org in case you have any more questions to us. I will definitely share the other details also, and I've shared a feedback link with you. If you all could just give your like feedback or your experience, what would have been went correct or something which we would have done improvise ourselves. We are welcome to hear any kind of feedback with us. Thank you once again, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.